Are there any books that you would recommend to people?
There are a few. There's a book that I recommend to people that are highly sensitive by nature. It's called The Highly Sensitive Person by Elaine Aron. It's written about 20 years ago, but it's really, really profound because when you're in the 95th percentile for sensitivity, it really means that you experience reality slightly or profoundly differently than most people in the world. And that can lead to people to feel really bad about themselves and like there's something really wrong with them because they don't feel like they fit in and they experience things on such a deep level that most people look at them like, what's wrong with you? And they're made fun of and made to feel ashamed of themselves for being so sensitive. So that book normalizes sensitivity in a really powerful way. There's another book called Why Is It Always About You? And that's a book about narcissism that I think is like a Bible for that people should read about narcissistic personality disorder and how it affects us all in our world. There's another book that was actually written in the 50s by a contemporary of Freudian psychoanalysis. She has since revised the book, but it's called The Drama of the Gifted Child.
Hmm.
And it's really remarkable because it really helps people understand that if they're born into a family and they're sensitive and they can feel what the family's requirements are, and it's not natural to them, they start changing who they are to accommodate the family. Right? If the family doesn't value sensitivity, they stop being sensitive or showing their sensitivity. If the family doesn't want to deal with things emotionally, they stop expressing their emotions and they start, trying to please their family in some way so they can feel safe. The problem is that when you get loved under those circumstances, it doesn't feel real because it's based on a false presentation of yourself. And this is all unconscious, by the way. It's not like a little 4-year-old's going to say, oh, my family doesn't like it when I'm emotional, so I'm going to stop. It's all the things that we just figure out if you're smart. And so this woman wrote a book about how important it is to recognize that a lot of times we grow up with a false version of ourselves that we present to the world, and then we don't ever feel safe because the love we get is based on false pretenses.
Yeah.
And that is a form of trauma. So a lot of people that say to me, oh, I've never had any trauma. And then we begin to talk about the fact that they absolutely were not accepted in their family unless they changed drastically. That is a form of trauma. And it affects
Yeah.
you for your whole life if you don't realize why relationships don't work out so well, because you're not being yourself. You're being somebody that you created in order to survive.